Hello! Would you like to live in a world where you're not obligated to show your face every day, where you could be anyone you wanted to be, the best version of yourself? Would you like to live in a world where there was no internet? If yes, then today's book is totally for you because we are reviewing The Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughn and Marcos Martin. So stay tuned and check out the video. Okay, gonna toot my own horn here, but I thought that I kind of sort of nailed the intro. Took me 10 minutes to draw this, so I am very proud of myself. Anyway, enough of that. You're here for the book review. So okay, this is The Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughan, Marcos Martin, and Munsta Vicente. So yeah, again, this is like a horizontal book, one of those horizontal books, not exactly a vertical book. What I mean by that, and I'm going to zoom out to show you, is this is the book compared to like a trade paperback. This is the book compared to like a single issue. So if you see, if I put the single issue and the trade paperback like on top, then you get like the width of like two single issues is basically what the width of this book is, right? So yeah, and then also because this is the first time I'm reviewing such a horizontal book, so I'll compare it with an omnibus. So here is the Thunderbolts Red omnibus, and this is how it like compares to it, right? So yeah, so again, this is printed by Image Comics and published by panelsyndicate.com, which is Brian K. Vaughan's own publishing house. So please check out Panel K. Brown. They've done other books too, so, but this is again the legendary Brian K. Vaughan of Why the Last Man fame, and Marcos Martin. I discovered him on Friday with Ed Brubaker, but they both have done like a lot of DC Marvel work as well and a lot of independent work as well, right? And so yeah, so anyway, so what is this book about? Let's open. There will be a little bit of spoiler from the chapter 1 because otherwise I can't really talk about it. So yeah, I'll give you a warning before I do the spoilery bit. But essentially what this book is, and those are your end sheets, and so it's called The Private Eye, so it's about the private eye, right? So what is the world we are looking for here, right? So the book is set in 2079 Los Angeles, right? So LA. So you've got basically something happened called an event called the Cloudburst. What that means is that all the private data that is secured on the cloud, that includes your bank account details, your medical information, your personal photos, everything got leaked. There was a cloud burst and all of this information got leaked, and there was mass chaos and paranoia. And this happened like 40 years ago, right? 50 years ago. And now we're in a situation wherein internet is completely banned, right? So there's no internet anymore. And people are basically without any smartphones or wireless or any kind of data or technology, right? And they've reverted back to, there have been more advances in other fields, but in this whole cybersecurity field, they live in a world wherein there is no internet, there are no smartphones, there's no Wi-Fi or anything. So anyway, so enter our private eye, our main guy, Patrick Immelman. So this guy, he takes on cases from people. It's again mostly PI stuff like following wives and taking pictures, unfaithful people, unfaithful spouses, hiring them and all. So as you see here, he's trying to take a picture of this lovely lady, and then he gets caught. And then he gets caught by security, and they're chasing him. And the best thing that works about this book is this whole amazing, gorgeous art, because Marcos Martin gets a lot of real estate to do like what he does best, which is draw amazing these things. Again, this world is even Brian K. Vaughan mentions the world is like Blade Runner, but it's not exactly that noirish, like it is futuristic noir, but it's not like that deep dark, gloomy and stuff like rain everywhere and all. It's more lighted, it's more a little bit more lighthearted as compared to that deep dark Blade Runner world. But kind of, if you want to draw parallels to it, then you can see a lot of parallels. So anyway, so this dude is being chased by security, and he escapes, and this whole escape in the first chapter is it just sets the tone of the book. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. So this whole artwork is amazing and fantastic, so, and yeah, like I said, Marcos Martin is killing it on the artwork. So especially I really like this whole panel work which he does, wherein this whole he jumps onto in between skyscrapers, and you can see the US Bank building here in LA, and he captures the LA skyline pretty well. So yeah, so kudos to Marcos Martin. He like really nails it on the art. Then you have again, there's this bullet train chase and all. So what do people do in this world again? And so people have something called as NIMS. So what is NIMS? It's basically something you wear around your neck, which can kind of like it can transform you into any shape or pattern or any look you wanted to do. So basically people check in like, they make furry costumes, some people make like regular costumes, some people dress up as their movie stars, favorite movie stars or movie characters. Essentially the idea is that you can, it's a Halloween, it's basically like Halloween every single day here. So basically why that is so they wanted to, after this whole cloudburst, because everybody's identity was concealed, they wanted to protect something called as the Fourth Amendment, which basically says that you as an individual, if you are inside your house, then you will be protected. So your identity is secure and you will be protected at all costs. So again, and then, but when the moment you step outside, because people know who you are, etc., they know where to find you and all. So they've given liberty to people to dress up like with these NIMS. And so everybody has like 10 identities here. They call themselves like futuristic Ninja Shock, Ninja Turtle or something like that. So they have all these cool names. And probably at home, they're just like regular Randy or, regular Kevin or regular Russell, right? So that's the idea. But so because now this whole cybersecurity is not a big field now anymore, because there is no internet and everything, the technology has advanced in other ways. So you've got these like futuristic magnetic cars. So you've got other stuff where progress has been made. But this whole idea of like, social media and internet and all has been discontinued from this world. So yeah, so essentially that is what it is. So as you can see here, your main PI he's meeting his customer. He doesn't know who he is. And this guy is also like concealed. So he's got like his basic distinguished characteristic is his like hoodie, this jacket, which is called as a dream coat. And what the dream coat does is it makes you like semi-invisible to the naked eye, right? So this guy is chasing him, but then suddenly he wears his dream coat and activates it, and then he's just disappeared, right? That's so, like I said, technology has progressed in other ways, but in some ways it the internet and stuff is not there anymore. So anyway, so he was taking pictures of of this guy's like high school girlfriend or something, and then he gives him the pictures and all, and he talks to him, but he doesn't know who he is because he's also concealed in a NIM, right? And only the adults get the NIMs. So if you're like a teenager or something, you don't get a NIM, right? So our stories, so that's like the premise, and our stories begins when your main PI, his name is Patrick Immelman, which is also like a pseudonym because it's PI, right? So he calls himself Patrick Immelman. And then, so he is visited by this lovely lady, right? So who's also like concealed in a NIM, right? But then she unconceals herself, like she clicks this. So this is exactly what that NIM is, right? And then she basically gives him a case. And she says the case is basically like, she wants him to dig up dirt on her. So she's like probably going for a government office or something big, something huge. And she wants him to investigate her and figure out all this dump before like journalists or like the press can find, or like the media can find out, right? And in this world, like media, the journalists are like, they're like FBI, right? CNN is like basically like a federal agency governing everything. So if the feds are after you, like you're in big trouble. So he's reluctant even initially, but then he takes up that case and he's like, because okay, this is going to be a challenge for me and all, right? So that's where the whole story begins. At the same time, you've got Patrick Immelman. He's got his grandpa. So his grandfather is like really old, and he lives in like a world that has not moved on, right? So he's still in 2011 before this whole cloudburst stuff was there, and he kind of sort of also has like a little bit of Alzheimer's and stuff. Like he looks at his smartphones and he's looking for bars, but he doesn't remember the fact that smartphones were like discontinued like ages ago, right? So he's like, hey, why doesn't my smartphone work, and why can I not connect to like Safari and all these browsers? So he's like, and Marcos is like, this guy Patrick Immelman is trying to like deal with his grandfather too, and he's like his sort of like a caretaker for him. So anyway, so back to our girl, right? So back to our client. So she comes back, after visiting Patrick, she comes back to her house, and this is where the spoilery bits start. So, just a warning, if you don't want to be spoiled, then probably leave now. But essentially what happens is somebody comes, this gentleman here, and he stabs her, right? And then she dies. And now it's like a race against time for our main PI guy to kind of sort of figure out, like, who killed her, what exactly was she involved in, and and yeah, that's what basically the entire story is all about, right? So it unfolds in like very different ways. Now, what works for in this book is basically obviously the Marcos Martin art, because it is sublime, and he gets so much real estate to, like, hone his craft and show what he's good at, that that's just worth for the price of admission, right? And I eventually thought that this horizontal kind of like layout would probably be difficult to read and all, but I didn't have a problem, right? I didn't have a problem at all. And yeah, so again, because I also had this hardcover edition, maybe if you have like a soft cover, then it's a little bit flimsy, maybe it slips. So my pal Kevin, who recommended this book to me, shout out to Kevin from Omnibuds Cafe, he has the soft cover, but I don't think he also had any problems reading it. I was fortunate enough that for my free comic book day, I was able to get this from my local comic shop. So it's called the Cloudburst edition, right? So again, the Marcos Martin art is what is amazing, and that's enough for you. But it's Brian K. Vaughan, and he has done some of the best comics. So his story just pulls you in, right? Every chapter is kinetic, every chapter is dynamic. You don't know what's going on next, you don't know what the plot is, right? And the suspense is good, and and there are like high stakes, and you don't know who these guys are. These guys are like two assassins, like sent by the bad guy. So all in all, like, it was a good read. Like, I really enjoyed it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's going to take you like less than an hour to read this. It's not like super thick or something, so but I had a blast reading this, and I took my time with it, like, because I wanted to absorb all the artwork. So I read slowly than I usually do, right? So yeah, again, the artwork works and the story is a banger, and like you see like all these panels, like, look at this whole cover is so sublime, right? And he's got like the car driving in, and then you've got like this whole bombastic, like, rockets and stuff drawn like so well. And I think they basically also, like, they do LA a lot of justice. So you get Rodeo Drive, you get a lot of like scenic LA stuff, like the Santa Monica Boulevard and stuff, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so for me, this was like I bought it because Kevin recommended it to me. He really enjoys Brian K. Vaughan stuff. I also did, and I'm glad that I have this in my collection now. I guess it's hard to find, but I guess what you can do is go to like the Brian K. Vaughan's own website and probably order it from there if you can't find it on Amazon or anything. But that, guys, is my review of Private Eye. I really had a lot of fun doing it, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, take care. Like and subscribe and share this video as well with your friends.